There was a moment when everything felt strangely quiet. Not peaceful, just empty. Days kept moving forward, but nothing really changed. No breakthrough, no sudden clarity. Just the same thoughts repeating themselves. At first, it didn't feel dangerous. It felt normal, almost comfortable. Growing up, you're taught to believe that effort is always noticed. That if you keep going, someone will eventually step in. A teacher, a mentor, an opportunity. Some kind of signal that says, you're on the right path. But as time passes, that signal never comes. And slowly, without realizing it, you start waiting. Waiting for permission. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for something external to give meaning to your struggle. This is the part no one warns you about. The world doesn't respond to intention. It responds to evidence. Until you produce something real, your effort remains invisible. And that silence begins to feel personal. What most people don't realize is that the brain doesn't resist effort because it's lazy. It resists responsibility because responsibility removes excuses. Once something is your fault, it's also your burden. And the mind will do almost anything to avoid that weight. It looks for comfort, distraction, small justifications. Just enough to delay action without admitting fear. Psychologists call this avoidance. But in real life, it feels like reasoning, like you're being patient, strategic, realistic. But over time, something subtle starts to happen. Every time you delay what you know you should do, a message is sent inward. Not loudly, quietly. A message that says, I can't rely on myself. Confidence doesn't disappear after failure. It erodes after avoidance. After the promises you make in private and never keep. Eventually, even simple tasks begin to feel heavy, not because they're difficult, but because self-trust is gone. This is where pain enters the story. Not as an enemy, but as a signal. Pain shows up when something is misaligned, when potential and behavior no longer match. Most people are taught to numb this feeling, to escape it, to treat discomfort as a sign that something is wrong. But discomfort is often the most honest feedback you'll ever receive. It points directly to the edge of your growth. The people who change their lives aren't the most motivated or the most talented. They're the ones who stop running from that signal. They sit with it long enough to understand what it's asking of them. Discipline doesn't arrive as inspiration. It arrives as a decision made without emotion. A decision to act before confidence returns. Because confidence isn't the cause of action, it's the result of it. At some point, everyone reaches the same quiet realization. No one is coming. Not because you're unworthy, but because this part was never meant to be shared. Waiting feels safe, but it keeps life small. The shift happens when responsibility stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like control. Psychology calls this an internal locus of control, the belief that your actions matter more than your circumstances. It's not an optimistic belief. It's a demanding one. It removes comfort, but it gives clarity. You stop asking for motivation and start setting standards. You stop negotiating with yourself. And slowly, movement replaces stagnation. The truth is simple but not easy to accept. Nobody is coming to save you. And once you truly understand that, you don't feel abandoned. You feel free.